Good morning, everyone. An Amber Alert has been issued for an 11-year-old Livingston, Texas girl, Audrii Cunningham. Audrii was last seen on Thursday, February 15th around 7 a.m. as she was supposed to be dropped off at the bus stop to go to school by her father's roommate. It was reported, however, that Audrii never made it on the school bus, nor did she make it to school that day. Law enforcement did narrow the suspect list down to one person, and that person happens to be her father's roommate, Stephen McDougal, someone who she apparently lived with as well. This man, Stephen, has a history and actually was arrested a few years back for enticing a child, a minor. So why he was allowed to live with this girl and her father is beyond me. Why the parents trusted this man who has a criminal history with hurting minors or trying to hurt minors to take their daughter to school is also beyond me. But none of that matters right now. What matters is that law enforcement is able to locate this child and find her safely. It is being reported online that there was a backpack as well as a notebook that said "Help me" in it, found alongside a riverbank in the Livingston area of Texas, but there's no signs of Audrii Cunningham so far. As of right now, Stephen McDougal is in custody, and that is where he will remain. So my fingers are crossed. I'm hoping that this girl is found safe, alive, and well. Please continue to share this. If anyone in the Livingston area has cameras outside, ring footage that may have caught this man in a blue vehicle, this is what the vehicle looked like, driving anywhere in the area on Thursday morning, please reach out to law enforcement and give them that information. We need to find this girl and we need to bring her home to her family. So please share and please send in any tips that you guys may have. I'm going to keep you guys updated as more information comes out about this case. Right now, my fingers are crossed that she is found alive and that she is found soon. Hey guys, Audrii Cunningham, the 11-year-old girl that is missing out of Livingston, Texas, her mother has spoken out. This is what she had to say.
It just ends with empty hands so far. And I want my baby returned. This is the stuff that you see on TV and you wonder, you can only imagine what the family and the parents are going through. She has so many opportunities ahead of her and she deserves every right to be able to reach those. Right now, I am empty. And I'm not gonna be the same unless my baby is returned to me.
Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments. Make sure to follow for more updates on this case, and please, let's continue holding out hope that she's going to be found safe. Hey guys, unfortunately we don't have any new information about Audrii Cunningham. She has not been located as of right now. However, I was able to find some information about her family dynamic on Facebook, and I'm going to share that with you guys because I feel like it's very important to kind of understand the entire story about this case. So according to an old Facebook post from Audrii Cunningham's uncle, it looks as if Joshua Cunningham, Audrii's father, was granted full custody of her back in June of 2015. Audrii's birth mother, Cassie Matthews, does have a criminal history and a pretty rocky past, so I'm pretty sure that has something to do with why she was not given full custody of her daughter. Maybe the two of them were actually sharing custody at first. However, someone that knows this family actually posted on Facebook and stated that Cassie lost custody of their daughter completely because she tried to take her and run away when she was just 4. Now, on the day that Audrii was reported missing, her father did make a Facebook post to share that she was missing and to have anyone who knew anything about her whereabouts to contact him and the police immediately. It's being reported that while Joshua did have full custody of Audrii, he was not there all of the time to take care of her because of his job. And that is why people like Stephen McDougal had to step in and help take care of Audrii and bring her to school when her father was unable to do so. Now, Cassie, Audrii's birth mother, did make a Facebook comment saying that Audrii was ripped away from her by the father and his family, and that she was denied any type of contact with her daughter and visitation because of the father. Cassie also admits that she does know of Stephen, and the only reason that she was messaging Stephen back and forth was because that was her only means of communication and the only thing that connected her to her daughter. She states that Joshua, Audrii's father, works on a boat and that Audrii was left with a babysitter a lot of the time because he was often away. Cassie also states that she knew that something was off about Stephen, but she was trying to do what she needed to do and be friendly with him so that she could have a point of contact with her daughter. At one point, Stephen McDougal was actually trying to get Cassie, Audrii's mother, to meet up with him and Cassie privately behind the father's back so that Cassie and Audrii could see each other and be around each other. Stephen was actually trying to convince Cassie to meet the two of them at a park privately, just herself, without her fiance, so that she could have some visitation with her daughter. However, Cassie said that this seemed very suspicious to her, that he wanted her to go and meet up with him and the daughter alone. Cassie also posted that it was odd to her that Joshua Cunningham received a message from the school at 1 o'clock saying that Audrii was not at school. However, he didn't even attempt to contact the bus barn until 5 p.m. They didn't contact police or law enforcement until after 7 p.m. So for 3 to 4 hours while Audrii was missing, nobody had reported her actually missing. So no, Cassie Matthews is not going to be winning Mother of the Year, but I definitely don't think that she is the sole person to blame when it comes to her daughter's disappearance. It feels like she's definitely been trying to be more present in her daughter's life, and she's been trying to make better choices and decisions so that she could see her daughter more and be a part of her daughter's life. I personally think that it is Audrii's father, Joshua Cunningham, who is at fault here for allowing this man on the screen, Stephen McDougal, to be around his daughter alone, to take care of his daughter while he is not around. This man has a past, a criminal past, where he has sexually assaulted minors in the past, and her father allowed this man to be around her alone. That is what the problem is here. In reality, Audrii's father failed her by allowing this monster to be so close to his daughter that she could have gotten hurt by him, and it's also the court's fault as well for not making sure that Audrii was in a safe household amongst people who were safe and not convicted pedophiles. There's definitely a lot of layers to this case and to this family. However, law enforcement and police officers did state that as the days go by, this is day 4, mind you, that the odds of finding her alive and well are becoming lesser and lesser. Investigators have taken a lot of tips in, and they are adamant that she may be around the Lake Livingston area, around the lake, whether it's in it or on the Outer Banks. We don't know. They did know that they found a notebook as well as her backpack off to the side of the lake, and they're just continuing to look because she has not turned up as of right now. But I am still trying to hold out hope that she's going to be found. Make sure to follow for more updates on this case. Let me know your guys' thoughts, and I will talk to you guys soon. Hello everyone. So unfortunately we don't have any new updates in the Audrii Cunningham missing child's case out of Livingston, Texas. However, a lot of people were questioning online why Stephen McDougal, the guy who is apparently the main person of interest in her disappearance, why he was allowed to be around this child if he was convicted of enticing a minor a few years back. And according to new reports that have been released, despite him being convicted of enticing a child, a minor, he did not have to actually register as a sex offender. I think that our criminal justice system needs reform. If you are accused and convicted of doing anything or trying to do anything with a minor, you should have to be registered as a sex offender. And there should be stricter boundaries and guidelines about where those people can live and around who they can be with. So this, I think the system really failed Audrii Cunningham in this case by not making this man register as a sex offender, despite him obviously showing signs and displaying behavior of someone who is a predator. If you guys watch my videos from this morning in the playlist down below, the locals in Livingston, Texas are hopeful and optimistic that they're going to find Audrii Cunningham alive and safe. However, as the days continue to progress and she is not located, the odds of that happening is becoming lesser and lesser. So yes, I'm remaining hopeful, but this is not a good sign. The fact that she is not found and we're like 4 or 5 days in, it's not looking good. So make sure to follow. I'm going to keep you guys updated as soon as new information comes out about this case. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, and I will talk to you guys soon. Hey guys, the search for 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham out of Livingston, Texas is still underway, and although we are on day 5, we are still getting small tidbits of information about this case and about the man who is allegedly the one who last seen her and the one who is ultimately behind her disappearance. Take a listen. In a press conference that took place today, the Polk County Sheriff's Office as well as the Texas DPS is asking for video footage from FM 3126, I believe that's the neighborhood of Livingston, Texas. Anyone with video footage from February 15th between 6:30 a.m. and 8 a.m. to pass that in. They've also increased the reward for anyone who has information about this case to $10,000. It's being confirmed that McDougal lived in a camper behind Audrii's home and is said to have had a close relationship with her family, often helping out and dropping Audrii off at the bus stop, as well as watching her when her father was away for work. Search crews could be seen going up and down the Trinity River in Polk County over the last couple of days. Today, specifically, they started bringing canine dogs out on the boats. Authorities said that they searched several locations over the weekend, including today. They found a backpack believed to belong to Audrii, but no sign of her. During today's press conference, it was revealed that McDougal has been given several opportunities to cooperate, as law enforcement and authorities even brought him to some of the sites that they were searching for Audrii at in an effort to get information out of him. At this point, he still denies having any involvement in her disappearance. Breaking news, Audrii Cunningham, the missing 11-year-old out of Livingston, Texas, has been found. According to several credible news sources, they state that the body of missing 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham was found in the Trinity River in Texas. Don Stephen McDougal, the person of interest in this case, was arrested for unrelated manners. However, he is going to be charged with capital murder in connection with her death. Sheriff Byron Lyons said that information from the suspect, cell phone data, and social media imagery sent in by citizens helped lead them to the body off Highway 59 in the county. Water levels were lowered in an effort to assist divers in their search. As of right now, Audrii's body is with a medical examiner who is going to determine the exact cause and manner of death. A press conference is taking place right this moment. As soon as it's over, I'm going to upload the footage to my page, so make sure to follow. My thoughts and prayers are with Audrii's friends and family at this time. I can't even imagine. I'm so sorry. Hey everyone, as most of you probably already know, Audrii Cunningham's body was retrieved from a river in the Livingston, Texas area. I'm going to play some footage from today's press conference where they discuss details about Audrii being found and what they are going to do when it comes to Stephen McDougal, the main person of interest and suspect in her disappearance and killing.
Thank you for being here today. I want to first start by thanking the media for helping us with the coverage over Audrii, over her missing. Your help has been immensely appreciated. It has been great. I want to thank again everyone who has been engaged in the efforts to find Audrii, from the investigators to the volunteers who have spent countless hours in hopes of finding her, and to the community members who have been here supporting us since day one. I also want to say thank you to Trinity River Authority for lowering the water levels so that the divers could reach areas of interest. At this time, I sadly announced that Audrii's body was located at the Trinity River on the U.S. Highway 59. As a result of today's developments, I will discontinue the Amber Alert for Audrii, and I want to thank DPS, Department of Public Safety, for all their help in this alert. The information that we have gathered in this criminal investigation is substantial. The Polk County Sheriff's Office investigators, the Livingston Police Department, and the Texas Rangers, the game wardens, the FBI, Harris County Sheriff's Office, the San Jacinto County Sheriff's Office, the District Attorney's Office in Trinity County and Liberty County. It's just an outpouring of love from all of our law enforcement partners. My heart aches with this news, and I express with my deepest sympathies and condolences to everyone who knew, who cared for, and loved Audrii.
Any indication of how Audrii was killed?
I cannot speak to that.
At this time right now, we have transported Audrii down to the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office. At that time, we will await their results to be able to determine the cause and method of her death.
Evidence suggests murder.
We believe that there is enough evidence, yes.
Yes.
Did Don Stephen McDougal lead you to that location on the river where you found her body? Did he tell you where to find her?
That was evidence that we was collecting through the cell phone analysis, as well as through our videos that we were able to collect, and some of the information that we received from him, we were able to pinpoint and set. There were several points of interest that was turned over to us, so that we were able to develop. And thank goodness, and by the grace of God, one of those places of interest we were able to locate.
As I understand it.
Evidence, and right now, folks, when we start talking about how we're linking evidence to McDougal and linking evidence to this case, we want to be very careful on how we do that. I would feel safe to say this, is that there is substantial evidence through the evidence that we've gathered, and some of that evidence was even gathered by the wonderful witnesses and wonderful folks out there in the social media who sent us videos, who sent us pictures. Some of that, even that evidence helped us to be able to come up with these locations, as well as evidence from cell phones and as videos to pinpoint these locations.
Can you tell us the condition of the 11-year-old's body and if she was dressed?
At this point right now, until we get all our information back from the medical examiner's office, we don't want to release any information concerning Audrii and condition of her body.
Until we get all of the evidence and all the autopsy reports, we're going to have to hold and work with law enforcement to determine what is the best solution to this case. If the evidence supports that, that is something that we're going to look into.
Is there any evidence she was held somewhere else, or was she killed pretty much the day that she disappeared?
We do not have any evidence at this time that's showing that where she may have been held.
Hey guys, we have some disturbing new details about Stephen McDougal's criminal history. This is the man who is being charged with Audrii Cunningham's killing. Take a listen. It's being reported that McDougal previously spent time in prison after being convicted of 2 counts of enticing a child. In 2008, he pleaded no contest to the 2 felony charges, which stemmed from an incident involving an 11-year-old girl. Reports from the 2007 incident states that he tried to remove her pants after getting into bed with her and calling her his ex-wife's name. He was set to go to trial for this in June of 2008, however, he took a plea deal. McDougal also received a 3-year sentence in 2003 for felony assault of a public servant, and then in 2010 received a 4-year sentence for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Most recently, he was released from prison in September of 2022 after completing a 2-year sentence for unauthorized use of a vehicle out of Liberty County. I don't know, to me, the fact that this guy has such a lengthy criminal history, yet was still able to walk amongst the public, free to commit more crimes over and over and over again, that's concerning. We've seen on my page before, with many cases, that these children, these women, they are getting killed by people who have been to prison, been to jail 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times, yet are released and free to commit more crimes, and they do. So it just makes me so upset that this girl was failed by the system, failed by so many people around her, and the fact that this guy was allowed to be out after he had such a horrible past, it's just disturbing to me. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Follow for more updates on this case and others, and I will talk to you guys soon. Good morning, everyone. Last night, a vigil was held for 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham out of Livingston, Texas, and her mother did speak out. Take a listen to what she had to say.
It's amazing just to see so many faces that I don't even know personally, but I just, I'm at a loss for words most of the time, other than the fact that I am beyond blessed to be able to give birth to something that she was perfection. And, you know, as a parent, we're all pretty biased that we think our kids are perfect, you know, that it just is what it is, but I'm truly blessed to have given birth to such an amazing little girl. And I just want to, once again, thank all of y'all for coming out, and if y'all would like, y'all can go ahead and light your candles, and we'll start getting that done. You know, hopefully with all of our candles together, it'll be bright enough, you know, maybe she can see it. Maybe she'll see all the love and support that come together at once. So thank y'all.
At one point during the vigil, someone did mention that Audrii's dad's side of the family was at the candlelight vigil. However, when she asked if any of them wanted to come up and speak and say anything, they all declined. So I think that that's very telling. I think that there's a lot of guilt on her father's side of the family, because ultimately it was her father's side of the family who was connected to Stephen McDougal, the main person of interest and suspect being charged in Audrii's killing. It was her father that allowed him to stay on the property. It was her father who allowed this man to take her to and from school, to watch her when he was at work. And it was, I believe, allegedly, her father's mother who was friends with Stephen McDougal. And there's pictures of the father's mother with Stephen at parties and stuff like that. So I think that there's a lot of guilt on their end regarding this entire situation with their daughter, as there should be, because they let this man ultimately be around their daughter. They gave him free access to her to do whatever he wanted to her. And it's very, very sad. So Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Follow for more updates. As soon as we have new information about Stephen McDougal's arrest or about Audrii, I will keep you guys updated. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Hey guys, Audrii Cunningham's cause of death has been revealed by the medical examiner as blunt force trauma to the head, which means that something hit her, struck her in the head hard enough to kill her prior to her being thrown into the river. Now, there are some rumors online that Stephen McDougal was trying to sell some weights or a set of weights on Facebook Marketplace with a weight missing. So I'm wondering if this has anything to do with Audrii's killing or not. I have to look into that a little bit more, but right now we just know that she was struck in the head with something and then died. My heart breaks to hear this news, but I will keep you guys updated as more information comes out about this case, so make sure to follow. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, and I will talk to you guys soon. Good morning, everyone. We have some sad and disturbing new details about the state in which Audrii Cunningham was found when she was retrieved from the Trinity River. Now, apparently a man named Tim Miller was actually helping search, and he found a pair of young girls' pants off the side of the river on the shore. So he thought that that was a sign that he needed to look into that specific location of water. So he used his sonar equipment to go down into the water and see if he could capture any images. And he was able to capture a single image and was not able to duplicate that image. He couldn't take that same photo a second, third, or fourth time, and I'm going to explain why in a second. Fast forward, Audrii Cunningham was retrieved from that location that Tim Miller started to look for her in, and she was actually tied down to a rock. So Stephen McDougal tied her down with rope, the same rope that was found in his vehicle, tied her down with rope to the rock, and then threw her into the bottom of the river in hopes that she would not be able to float up and be recovered. Now, because of the current and because the natural human body, just when it's submerged, is going to surface, and she was unable to do so, that mixed with the current, Audrii's body was literally swirling in the water, underwater with the current, while she was tied down to this rock. How sick and disturbing is that? That is why he was unable to basically get a second, third, fourth picture the same as the first. This isn't a car that's just laying on the bottom of the river. This was a body that was naturally trying to surface and was unable to do so. The fact that Audrii's pants were separated from her person implies a lot. Stephen McDougal was a sicko. He should have been arrested and put in prison for a lot longer than he was back in 2007, 2008, when he was trying to entice a minor. That's a sign. That was a straight sign, and they just gave him a tap on the wrist and let him go. Take this plea deal, spend 2 years in jail, go be free to do it again and again and again. Justice will be served for little Audrii. I cannot wait to see the day that that happens. This man deserves to be in prison for the rest of his life, and he should have been in prison the first 8 times that he was arrested. The justice system failed this girl, and it's very sad. It's very disturbing. Make sure to follow. I'm going to keep you guys updated as new information comes out about this case. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, and I will talk to you guys soon. Hey guys, one of Stephen McDougal's first victims from an incident in 2007 has come forward. She was only 10 years old at the time that she was enticed by Stephen McDougal, and he only served 2 years in prison because of this assault. Take a listen.
He came into the room that me and my cousin were sleeping in. I had to take down my pants, and I immediately jumped up at that moment. I remember looking at him and saying, "Do you know how old I am?" He grabbed me, and when he did, I just swung my arm and I hit him. Everybody was still asleep. I mean, my uncle's backyard was woods. I mean, it could have been me. I think Brazoria County definitely failed me and failed Audrii, and possibly more.
I've been saying this from the start, that the system failed Audrii, and the system obviously failed this young woman as well. People who have predatory behaviors, they should not be allowed to assimilate back into society. It's proven that they are not able to do so. If they have predatory behaviors and tendencies, they're always going to. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Follow for more, and I will talk to you guys soon. Good morning, guys. I just dropped my phone in water, so if the audio is a little weird, I apologize in advance. My phone's struggling, but I want to get this video out. Anyway, Don Stephen McDougal, the man being charged with capital murder in Audrii Cunningham's death out of Livingston, Texas, had his arraignment on Wednesday. When the officers went to go and retrieve Stephen McDougal out of his single-person cell so that he could appear in front of the Justice of Peace, he had no clothes on, not a single piece of clothing on his body. And the officer actually had to tell him, wrap that blanket around your waist, because he felt disrespected. The fact that this man felt so comfortable enough to not be clothed in front of him. Based off of this incident here, based off the other incidents that he's been arrested for in the past, and also based off of messages that have been released between him and other people, this man doesn't seem to care about other people's boundaries and about consent at all. It's very, very apparent. So I'm going to play the footage from the body cam now so that you guys can see that.
Stephen McDougal, Don McDougal, we're going to get him out to get a ring. Come on. JP wants to talk to you. Where's your clothes? Hold on.
I ain't got no clothes.
Well, put your smock on for now. Well, come on out here. Well, no, man. You come on, man. Don't disrespect me like that. All right, well, wrap up in that. Wrap up in the blanket. Come on. Come on.
You have the right to remain silent and not make any statement at all, and know that any statement that you make can and will be used against you at trial in court. You have the right to have an attorney present to advise you prior to or during the questioning. You have the right to examine your trial if you're accused of a felony. Do you understand your rights, Mr. McDougal?
Yep.
Okay. Do you want a court-appointed attorney, or you gonna hire your own?
Nope.
Which one?
I'll be an attorney.
You gonna hire your own?
Yep.
All right. All I need you to do is sign right here for me. Your charge is capital murder, and it's a no bond.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Good luck.
I'm going to keep you guys updated as soon as new information comes out about this case, so make sure to hit that follow button. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, and I will talk to you guys soon. Good morning, everyone. Audrii Cunningham's father and grandmother have both broken their silence and spoken out in a statement since Audrii's death. These are the two people who allowed Stephen McDougal, the man being charged with her killing, to be around her. Take a listen to what they had to say. The Munch and Cunningham families are devastated and grieving for what happened to our little ray of sunshine, Audrii. We are being attacked and criticized on social media platforms for showing compassion and mercy to this formerly incarcerated person. But our interactions with this person were a result of our faith. Unfortunately, the system failed us due to a loophole in the offender registration system. He had a history of disrespect for young female children, but it did not show up when we checked the registry before allowing him to stay in the old camper in our backyard. Had we been aware of what we know now, this man would have never set foot on our property, much less been a part of our little girl's life. Audrii Danielle Cunningham will be missed, but hopefully not forgotten, as we would like to ask legislators and law enforcement both locally and in Washington, D.C. to look at the loophole that prevented us from knowing what Don McDougal was. The failing of the system is a crime that we cannot allow to go overlooked. I don't know, you guys. To me, I feel like they didn't look at the list in the first place. That could just be me, but I don't believe that they looked at the list. I think that they saw on the news and through social media that he did not have to register after his past offense, and they're using that to kind of make themselves feel better. And if that's what they need to do to feel better, have at it. But I don't believe that they actually looked at the list in the first place. And I do stand by the fact that they both failed Audrii. They both did not have her best interest at heart. He was off at work. The grandmother was off doing whatever she was doing, not helping out with Audrii, and making this man, Stephen McDougal, not even related to these people, just some man that came in to live on the property, take her to school, and trusting him to be around her and to whatever. That was wrong, and they know that that was wrong. They also literally said we were trying to show compassion for this man who was formerly incarcerated, so they knew that he went to jail. Like, you don't become incarcerated for a speeding ticket. All they had to do was search his name in the database on their county's prison thing, and they would have seen the list of charges. He'd been arrested like 8 times, and you let this man alone with your granddaughter, with your daughter. Anyway, let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments on this. Follow for more updates on this case and others. I will keep you guys updated as soon as new details come out involving anything about this case, and I will talk to you guys soon. Hey guys, so I'm a part of this Justice for Audrii Cunningham group on Facebook. It's just a discussion group on Facebook where people are able to discuss the case and share photos of Audrii's little memorial that was made for her, kind of where her body was found. And There was this one post that really touched me, and it was this gentleman who went there to pay his respects, to pray, and they raised a flag in honor of her life, and it just really touched me. I wanted to share them here on my page. There was balloons, stuffed animals. It was such a beautiful little memorial that the community got together and created for this young child. And like I said, it really did touch me, and I feel like I wanted to share that with all of you guys, because these people, this man specifically who posted this, such kind people, such amazing people with good hearts and who care. I think that there's a lot of should've, could've, would've scenarios when it comes to Audrii's family and what they could have done, should have done, would have done. But something that has come out of this case, and something that comes out of a lot of cases, is that when tragedy strikes, community does find a way to come together. They come together for support. They come together to lean on each other for the sake of the victim and keeping the victim's name alive. And I think that that's a really beautiful thing. And I just wanted to shed light on that. Audrii's family, they felt most likely that they didn't have anyone to help out with Audrii. They were at work, they were out doing whatever they were doing, and this man was the only person that they felt could do these things. That was the only person in their mind, arguably, that they felt that they had to help. And look at now, there was a whole community of people that would have stepped in to help this young girl get to and from school, to ensure that she was safe. And I feel like that's also very important. If you reach out and ask for help and you vet these people in the right way, there's so many nice, amazing people who would have stepped in to ensure that she would have been safe. Justice will be served for Audrii. This is one of those cases where I feel like everyone is on the same side, as far as this is the man who did this. This is the man who has to pay for this crime. Stephen McDougal committed this crime, and everyone knows it. So there's going to be no issue in my mind that a jury is going to convict him and find him guilty. Justice will be served. So justice for Audrii. My heart and my prayers go out to her friends at school, everyone close to her in her life, and that community of people who is also grieving over the loss of this young girl. So I'm going to keep you guys updated. Make sure to follow me for more updates on this case. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, and I will talk to you guys soon. Good morning, everyone. Audrii Cunningham's biological mother, Cassie Matthews, has spoken out in a new one-on-one interview with Nancy Grace, and she revealed a lot. Take a listen.
How in the hay do you believe this happened, Miss Matthews?
I don't understand how it happened at all. I don't understand how they put so much effort into keeping her from me, but they couldn't put the same effort into knowing the people that they had around her.
Miss Matthews, what happened when you discovered that Audrii was missing? How did you find that out? Or did you know that before you found out that she had been killed?
So it was Thursday evening. I'm going to say it was like 7 o'clock. Tabitha herself had gone and contacted or went to the home of my fiance's mother and was asking her if she knew where we were, if we were there, and had said Audrii was missing. Now, his mother instantly calls him, of course, and she makes her get on the phone with me, and she's telling me that she's missing and asking me if I had seen her. And of course, no, I haven't seen her. I honestly wanted to ask her if it was a sick joke, but I didn't. And I'm used to a lot of crazy things from that family. So when she said no, she's missing.
Did they call you immediately?
Of course, my fiance's mom called him instantly, and she told him that I needed to be on the phone ASAP, and then she put Tabitha on the phone and made her talk to me.
Why didn't she want, I would think she would have called you first. Had they been blocking you seeing Audrii?
I haven't had any type of contact. I had the last bit of contact that I
I had with Josh, where I was once again begging to see my daughter in any way that made him or her comfortable. Whatever I needed to do, I had to do that through my fiance's messenger.
Why were they keeping you away from Audrii?
I don't know. They said it was for her protection, but I still don't understand.
So the grandma shows up at your fiance's mom's place looking for Audrii. Then your fiance's mom has her call you. And what did she say?
She tells me that she's missing. She didn't make it home off the bus. Asked me if I had seen her.
When they asked where's Audrii, what did you say?
I, of course, told them I haven't seen her. And in my mind, I wanted to snap and tell her, of course I haven't seen her. You and your son haven't let me see my daughter in how long now? But I didn't because I instantly wanted to know where my daughter was. That was the thing that took over.
You also asked the grandma, where is Stephen? And we know that to be Stephen McDougal. Why?
Yes, I did. I had told her about him messaging me out of the blue the night before, and told her that he had said to me that he was going to take her to school that morning. And I asked her where he was and had she seen him. And she went from hysterical to stuttering, I gotta go.
You told me earlier she went from calm to hysterical.
No. She went from hysterical to stuttering, and she had to go.
Oh, as soon as she realized that Stephen McDougal
Yes.
had been with Audrii, she had to go and hung up the phone.
It was her stuttering the word, she didn't have anything else to say other than, I gotta go. Now in the 911 call, you can clearly hear him in the background.
Guys, we are speaking with Cassie Matthews. This is Audrii Cunningham's mother. What happened after that? After she hangs up, what do you do?
I'm about to melt down. I hit my knees. I prayed. My fiance is sitting there trying to comfort me, but I didn't even want him to touch me. I didn't understand what was going on. I'm pacing a rut in my house, just wondering where she could be, where I could look, what I could do. I'm waiting for the officers. When officers finally showed up, they asked if they could search my home. And of course, I asked them if I needed to step outside, whatever made them more comfortable. But I wanted them to go ahead and, get that done and start looking for my baby. Now, I tried to ask a couple questions, and they just kind of looked at each other after they searched and were like, okay, it's all clear. Let's move on. And then left. And then shortly after that, my fiance, and the roommate that we have at the time, we're getting picked up by the sheriff's office and investigators. We go and we spend, I think it was almost 16 hours up there. Now the entire time I'm being asked 20 million questions that I'm able to answer with no problem. They keep trying to say to me, I feel like there's something you're not telling us. I feel like there's something you're not telling us.
They were peppering you with questions really about, where's Audrii? When have you last seen her? Did you take her? Did you hide her? Questions of that nature, correct?
And about the messages between Stephen and I from the night before.
Yes. Now, that's very curious, Cassie, because I find those text messages that McDougal sent you very, very incriminating for him, because he is playing on your emotions. He knows how much you want to see Audrii. And he's saying, I can get her to you. Come meet me down by the river. So basically, Cassie, McDougal is using your daughter as bait to lure you down to the river where her body was later found. Why was he doing that? And claiming he was going to keep it secret from her dad. What was his game?
Well, when he first approached me, and see, when I say approached me, it was all through Facebook Messenger. I've never had his number or anything like that. But he had said that he was Audrii's babysitter, which was instant red flag. I didn't understand. But he had said that he wasn't
going to pick parents' sides, that he was concerned about what Audrii wanted and how she felt, and that he thought it was wrong for her to be kept from me if she wanted to know me. So he played on the fact that I was desperate for anything. I wanted pictures. I just anything that had to do with my daughter. And for a minute, I could have believed that. But then I thought more into it, and I just knew something was wrong. And I had been speaking to my family about it. I'd been telling my fiance told me from the jump not to associate with him in any way. Do not. But he doesn't understand how I was feeling when I was craving something of my daughter.
Did you have any idea this freak was your daughter's babysitter?
Not until he had messaged me, and I had tried to contact Josh, wondering what the is going on. And I asked my family over and over again if they could try to contact, and they tried to get no answer. I wanted to know why a man that nobody knows is being left with my 11-year-old daughter. I mean, he could have chose anyone else under the sun, and it would have been okay. But when he invited me down to go fishing to see my daughter, well, for one, I knew better. But at this point, knowing what I know now, I feel like he did something to Audrii Wednesday before he even messaged me, and that if I would have went, he would have gotten rid of me as well, and then it would have been chalked up to I kidnapped my daughter and I ran with her, and people would have forever been looking for two people that don't exist, not looking in a river.
Did you discover that McDougal was actually going door to door like he was looking for Audrii?
That's the part right there that just infuriates me to the point where I could put my hands around his throat and squeeze and not stop. How do you know damn good and well what you did to my daughter, and then you search for her?
Good morning, guys. Audrii Cunningham, the 11-year-old Livingston, Texas girl whose life was taken by the hands of her father's friend, had her funeral services last week, and these are some photos of her casket. Such a beautiful casket. Whoever made this did an amazing job. It's beautiful. And as I looked at this last night, I just couldn't help but think, like, her family gave her a better casket than life. And it's just so opposite in the world that we live in. We need to protect our children. No child should die by the hands of someone else, especially someone else that their own family, their own parental beings brought into their lives. So, beautiful casket. I think that this is a beautiful, like, this is amazing. I've never seen anything like this. But again, why was more effort put into her casket than into parenting her and making sure that she was safe? It's messed up. We need to do better. Hey everyone, so it's been a minute since we last talked about Audrii Cunningham, that 11-year-old girl from Livingston, Texas that was found deceased in the Trinity River back in February. Unfortunately, the details regarding the status of this case have been pretty silent. We do know that Stephen McDougal, the man who was responsible for watching her and who also lived on the property with her and her father and grandmother, was arrested for her death. He is also being charged with 2 counts of capital murder. Now, both of those charges have 2 separate provisions. The first is murder of a child with blunt force trauma, and the second is causing a death during a kidnapping. Now, if you guys remember, Audrii Cunningham's grandmother stated that she started bringing Stephen McDougal around the family because she wanted to give him a second chance. She believed in second chances, and she thought that all of this man's past troubles were behind him. I was able to do some digging, and I found that Stephen McDougal actually knew the Cunninghams for a while, at least 2 years, and that he was living on the Cunninghams' property also for at least 2 years. Now, during that 2-year time period where Stephen was living on the property and also being brought around Audrii Cunningham, this 11-year-old child, they claimed that they saw no signs of him being a monster and that he was on this better path, and they actually trusted this man to stay alone with 11-year-old Audrii. Little did they know this man was actually trying to solicit pictures from females online. He was also dealing with some misdemeanor charges just a few months prior to Audrii's death. while he was living on the family's property. 1, theft of a firearm, and 2, the unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. He was also charged with assault causing bodily injury back in November of 2023, again, just a few months before Audrii's death. So he was doing horrific things while he was living with the Cunninghams, while he was friends with Audrii Cunningham's grandmother, and they're sitting there and acting for months, and even up until this point, that this man they thought changed, that he was a good person. But he was, meanwhile, having to make court appearances and stuff because he was being charged with things that he was doing while he was living with them and being around them. Now, like I said earlier, Stephen McDougal is facing those 2 capital murder charges, and he was recently indicted by a grand jury. So a grand jury basically looked at all of the information that they have against Stephen McDougal regarding this Audrii Cunningham case, and they ultimately concluded that there was enough evidence to basically send this man to trial, to indict him because he had something to do with it. And I don't think that anyone is doubting the fact that Stephen McDougal had anything to do with Audrii's death. Everything points toward him, and we don't even know all of the facts yet. We know that he was the last person to see her. We know that her body was found tied down with rope in the Trinity River, and that same rope happened to be in the bed of his truck. All of the signs are pointing toward him, and we just have to wait until he goes to trial and actually gets sentenced for the killing of Audrii. So I will keep you guys updated as new information comes out. It's probably not going to come out as quickly as we'd like, but of course all of the information will be down in the playlist, so make sure to keep checking that out.